We start today with some incredibly disturbing video. Yet another another elected official has been arrested. In this case, it was the New York City Comptroller, who is also a mayoral candidate, has been arrested for essentially stopping ICE because they were trying to take a supposed undocumented immigrant, and he was asking them for a warrant, which is a valid and legal question, by the way. You can't just pick up people out of the streets without a actual arrest warrant, not an administrative warrant, a judicial warrant. Of course, later on, he was consequently released, so that's good. But this is the kind of stuff that we're seeing more and more often, and it is pretty unsettling, to say the least. We are not descending into fascisms. Fascism, folks. We are living fascism. True. Polygraph lie detector, welcome.
Do you have a judicial warrant?
So as you can hear him in the background, he's saying, "Do you have a judicial warrant?" Which is a warrant specifically signed, by a judge. Which you need that in order to arrest somebody, or search. You need to have a warrant signed by a judge. An administrative warrant is not that. So please, folks, be aware of the difference, because ICE may try to shake a piece of paper that says administrative warrant versus, and that's not it. That's not it.
Can I see the judicial warrant? Can I see the warrant? I will let go when you show me the judicial warrant.
And the fact that like ICE feels like they don't actually have to show a warrant is pretty like disturbing in and of itself, right? Like they feel like they can just scoop up people and not show the proper paperwork to be able to legally do that, and they feel like they can just do that because there's going to be no consequences. Most of these people are covered up. I mean, this is pretty disturbing. My dogs are goth. Welcome. Seth Evans. Predictable as it is pathetic. Yep.
Is it? Where is the warrant? I got my hand here. You obstructed. You obstructed. I was like, let's go.
You know, you live in a police state when armed agents of the state, of effectively like the secret police now, I guess they're operating as some kind of Gestapo-ish kind of force here. They feel like they don't have to show papers. They are actively just scooping people up and waiting for them at immigration centers, waiting for them at courtrooms, while they're trying to do the proper steps, right? So you can tell that this is not about illegal immigration or anything like that. They just want to scoop people up and deport them. It is madness.
Take it back. You don't have authority to arrest U.S. citizens.
Again, just to be clear, he's 100% correct. They do not have authority to arrest U.S. citizens. So they have to actually present that warrant.
Don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens.
Not to mention, this is a U.S. citizen. This is an elected official.
You don't have to. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant?
back, guys.
You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Stay back, please. Stay back.
Stay back.
Stay back. No, ma'am. For your own safety. For your own safety.
I'm safe.
I can't believe you're arresting
Where are you taking him? Hello?
Hi,
You have no authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Where are you taking?
Just out here arresting the most modest and civil of opposition leaders. Yep. That's assault and kidnapping. Yep.
And with what authority?
I think there is too.
Why are you arresting
And
him?
with what authority?
And where are you taking him?
Stay back, guys. Stay back, please.
Number one is going to go with him, all right? Hang on, please, number one.
It is
Hold on,
disgusting.
Hold on, hold on.
This is disgusting that this is our reality. I believe last time we talked about Trump having to kind of pretending to backtrack on these deportations because they're affecting key industries like restaurants, construction, farm, things like that. And apparently that's not happening anymore. I'm terrified for my family on the reservation. I feel like if they're going to go into these extremes already, we're close to them just scooping us up. Unfortunately, that's a thing that's happened. Not very often, but there have been a couple of incidents. In fact, I'm pretty sure there was one indigenous person who was deported to Mexico, a country they've never been to. So I completely understand that. So to my understanding, there's been a couple of incidents, not many, but completely understandable. I know they've gone on the Navajo reservation. I'm talking about them coming and getting us all at once. Gotcha. I mean, it's a valid concern. It's a valid concern. They have deported natives, yes. Yeah. The president said we're going to look everywhere for immigration arrests, reversing last week's exemption ICE gave to hotels, restaurants, and agricultural workers. I mean, like, there's only one way you're going to be able to meet these quotas, these Stephen Miller quotas, right? So the administration has reopened arrests of immigrant workers at hotels, restaurants, and the agricultural businesses, backtracking on the brief reprieve they got after President Trump said they were necessary, good, long-time workers whose job was almost impossible to replace. And here I thought good old Americans were going to get out there and do these jobs because, you know, the scary brown folks are taking these jobs. Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, said in a statement that there will be no safe spaces for industries who harbor violent criminals or purposely try to undermine ICE's efforts. So yeah, the violent criminals who work at, you know, the farm. They're deputizing white supremacists and giving them immunity. Trump is mad because ICE is effing up his bag with hotels and restaurants. Yeah, but it's still not enough for him to care. Worksite enforcement remains a cornerstone of immigration enforcement because, you know, that's where you'll find all the criminals. Target illegal employment networks that undermine American workers, destabilize labor markets, and expose critical infrastructure to exploitation. Yeah, let me know when you have a line of American workers ready to fill these jobs. Ladybug, welcome. Has to colonize your mind. They displace the indigenous and then harass you all off the land. The announcement backpedals on Trump's statement last week on social media that changes are coming after farmers and hotel and leisure business employers had complained that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking very good long-time workers away from them, with those jobs being almost impossible to replace. I mean, you could just replace them with, American workers, right? That's what I was told, right? I was told that a bunch of American workers were going to line up and take these jobs. Just 6 days ago, the Gestapo paused arrests at work sites in agriculture industries, including fisheries and meatpacking plants, restaurants, and hotels, according to internal policy memo obtained by NBC News. Effective today, hold on all worksite enforcement investigations and operations on agriculture, including the aquaculture and meatpacking plants, restaurants, and operating hotels, said the memo from Tatum King, Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent in charge of the San Francisco field office. But by Tuesday morning, the White House was contradicting that position, saying anyone present in the United States illegally is at risk of deportation. The field memo that announced the pause had noted that it would be difficult for ICE to maintain a monthly arrest quota of 3,000 that the administration had directed field offices to achieve. So, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I said at the beginning. This is the only way that they're going to even get close to reaching 3,000 arrests a month. And this is why no one showed up to Trump's fake parade. Oh, look, a tiny violin for the Orange Turds birthday parade. I got you. 1 second. I got you. There you go. Someone asked for a tiny violin. Got you. I'm lucky I'm white passing. I am ginger, so there's a privilege I have when they look at me. They may take they may take that when they hear what comes out of my mouth on stream, though. They're building concentration camps as we speak, so maybe they plan to keep some of us here, not send us all to El Salvador. It is scary. No, we got a couple. We got a couple of concentration camps here. Those ICE detention centers serve that purpose. It is scary. It is very scary. El Salvador was always a temporary measure to give them time to prepare. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if my memory serves me, the first concentration camps weren't in Germany. Like the first concentration camps under the Nazi rule, under the actual like Nazi regime, I don't think they were in Germany. They had concentration camps before the Nazis came into power that were shut down and then opened and then shut down. But once the Nazis came into power, I believe the first concentration camp under their regime was not in Germany. I may have that. Weren't the first camps for disabled people and gay people? I think the first people that went, honestly, the first thing that they did was the first thing that they did was actually go after the opposition, to make sure that there would be nobody, to protect or oppose what came next for the rest of different minority groups like disabled people and gay people and Jewish people. Correct. Germany started with deportations as well, which is why when they shifted to local camps, it was called the final solution. Yeah, if I remember correctly, the first thing they did was really go after the socialists. Because those were the people that were standing up and acting as opposition. Once the opposition is gone and they consolidated enough power, the rest that's all she wrote. As the poem goes, as the poem said, first they came for the socialists. Right, exactly, the opposition. Correct. Quote, we acknowledge that by taking this off the table, we're eliminating a significant number of potential targets. Asked about the change during a gaggle with reporters about aboard Air Force One on his return from the G7 summit, Trump said, we're going to look everywhere, but I think the biggest problem is the inner cities. He repeated the campaign rhetoric, blaming former President Biden, of course, saying that he let prisoners and gang members and drug dealers and mentally insane into the country. Of course, the kind of people that would take up jobs and show up to immigration hearings, Yeah. Trump said cities where the really bad ones are the murderers. Gotcha. We're going to get them out, and there are far more in the inner cities, Democrat-run cities, sadly, and I'm just giving you, there's far more in there than you have on a farm or someplace. Yeah, he just made that up. Okay. He just made that up.